Recently, I turned 31, and here are my thoughts. So the other day, probably about 3 days ago, it was my 31st birthday. And fuck, dude, like what? One of my really close friends, Tao, you can find our interview on this channel if you want, was like, dude, you have the hairline of a 31-year-old, but you have the face of a 13-year-old. So you know what they say about Asians, we don't freaking age at all. But you know, when you, like, every single birthday, I always think about kind of the lessons I learned over the last year and kind of the goals I want to go moving forward. And I just kind of want to share like 3 different realizations that I had when I was thinking about this, right? And the most impactful thing that really happened in between when I turned 30 and 31. So but before I go into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Hit the bell so that you get notified for all my videos and all my real talk videos, man. So let's go into the first. One of the things I wrote down was, it's never too late to start your business or change your career. And you know, I think a lot of people they get really scared around this age because they feel like it's the time to be settling down. And for a lot of people, it's true. Like when they turn 30, like around this age, people start having kids, they start buying houses, they start buying expensive cars, and buying these kind of like liabilities that traps people in huge amount of debt, and paying off student debt. If you went to pharmacy school like me, comment below. Let's never mind, don't comment below. But I don't want all these like freaking comments about, hey, I went to pharmacy school. What I'm trying to say is, you know, there's this perception that you're too old to learn. And I feel like during this year of being 30 and whatnot was my $1 million year, where I learned the most things. Because if you guys don't know, this was the year where I completely left pharmacy and just decided to go on entrepreneurship. And I didn't know what kind of business model or anything that I want to do. Yes, I did study marketing. Yes, I knew I wanted to launch a course. That was initially my thoughts. But man, like I literally just went into things. And I think it was a really unique time, because here's the thing. I was 25 when I graduated pharmacy school. And over those 5 years, I didn't go on any I rarely went on vacations, guys. Like I rarely ever went. So I accumulated quite a bit of money. I invested a lot of my money. Luckily, the market did really, really well, and I had enough capital to kind of not retire, definitely not to retire, but to try something new. Is it scary watching your savings dwindle? Yeah, a little bit. It's pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie about that. But when I started making more money, man, it was just like, wow, this is real. I went from like entrepreneur to actually entrepreneur, because I was actually generating cash flow with my closing agency and working with different marketers and stuff and clients. And it was really crazy. Really great growth for my YouTube channel too this year. You're never too old to start a business, but there's something about getting older which makes you a lot more risk averse. And unless you keep on challenging yourself, that's when you get older, in my opinion, right? So that's number 1. It's never too late to start your business or change your career. The second realization or biggest lesson I ever had was not buying a ballin' ass house or a baller ass car, and that I actually put that money into my own education, whether it was online courses, or whether that was books, or even hiring a life coach. I know a lot of people will fucking laugh at me. They're like, oh, Kevin, I can be your life coach. No, you can't, because you I would, like, if I took the advice of a lot of my friends, like, holy shit, I don't know where the fuck I would be. I'm so glad that I didn't spend a lot of money on liabilities. I'm really glad that in my 20s, I spent all my money on personal development and learning. And now in my 30s, I'm learning actual business skills. So just really glad about that. And I'm glad that I didn't really commit to a relationship or get married or have kids or have anything tying me down, because I think sometimes those type of things like really limit your options. And especially if you want to do things like change your career or start up your business, it can be really, really tough, right? I think one of the best decisions I ever made was just invest into my education when most of my friends, most of the people I know, they stopped reading, they stopped learning. And for me, I think that was the thing that really kept me young. Like, let me ask you, what kind of freaking 26-year-old would want to start a YouTube channel? Usually that's a little kid thing, but like for me at 25 or 26, I wanted to learn YouTube. What kind of person wants to like leave the secure job of pharmacy and go into something like marketing and go into like sales and closing and this online digital world? You know, I guarantee you, if I had kids and I ended up like most of my friends and got married and stuff, I would think totally differently. And I think like trying to reduce your risk of getting into like any long-term commitments, man, was one of the best decisions I ever made. And the truth is, like, if you're a male like me, we have all the time in the world. There's no rush, you know? So that was the second thing. The best decisions I ever made were to invest in my own education and personal development. The third thing I realized when I turned 31 was that people stopped giving a fuck and stopped telling me what to do with my life and telling me what I should do. I think this year was very, very pivotal for me, where like, especially my mom and stuff, she stopped telling me like what to do, right? Relationship wise and settling down and stuff and all that sort of stuff. Like my mom really stopped. And I think in general, like people are, because you're older, people realize that you're an adult and that you're the ones that have to make those decisions, those crucial decisions, and face those consequences. I know for a lot of like traditional, like if you're Asian like me and you're Chinese, like I know there's a lot of traditional families that will keep on telling you, oh, why don't you become doctor, or why don't you get married? To me, that's like, I'm very, very lucky that I don't have that in my life. And I think like one of the reasons why that shift happened was because I was so freaking clear on my goals. Like after my dad passed, and that's something that you realize, right? Like you go to two things as you get older. You go to a lot of weddings and you end up at funerals too. And during the funeral times, those are times where you're just like thinking about life. What do I want my life to be? Where do I want to go? And you start gaining a lot of clarity about what you want. And when you're able to communicate like that clarity and those goals to other people, they just feel drawn in, man. And they're just like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to tell Kevin what to do. And I feel like over this last year, because I stopped giving a fuck what other people think, at least majority of the time, or trying my best to not give a fuck. Sometimes I still do. Is that I feel like I've grown a lot as a leader and as an alpha male too. Because I guarantee you, when I was at the pharmacy, when I was like a lot younger, I wasn't as what we call in Dan Locke's high ticket closer program, a Ruby, right? Like I feel like I'm really developing that part and I'm really developing those leadership skills. And I think that also comes with age, because with age comes wisdom and experience, right? And those are things that you cannot replace, right? So you just grow with people smarts. You go through so many different relationships, both romantic and personal and business relationships. Those are things that you cannot replace. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts turning 31 this year. I'm like a 31 savage, guys. So I'm really looking forward this year. I know it's only been 3 days since I've turned 31. I haven't really updated my Instagram or told anyone about my birthday, but you know, like I'm just so grateful to be alive every single day, because in doing what I love, you know, I know I could be in such a worse situation, and to really just appreciate just getting older, because I really do think it's really better. I think I'm in better health this year, better. Maybe wealth is kind of like lacking right now because I haven't scaled up all my businesses yet. But relationships too, I feel like they're getting richer and richer, and that's like, your life should be like fine wine. They should get better over time, right? So kind of curious, what is your experience turning 30 or 31? How do you feel about getting older? Let's start a Q&A below. If you guys got any questions for this 31-year-old savage, feel free to comment. I would love to hear kind of your concerns and see if I can answer them, man. I've literally gone through everything. Like I said, my dad passed. I know what it's like losing a parent. My head is shaved because I'm fucking balding. You know, I know what it's like getting fired. So, you know, let's have a real talk, man. I'm here to help you guys, and just really share my experiences with you guys. All right. So I'll talk to you later. Make sure to watch my whole playlist on turning 30. All right. You can click right here. All right, guys, click on these videos, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.